What's happening, guys? Welcome back. Today is going to be a little bit different and a touch long-winded. We got a lot of projects open we're going to be working on, but before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment, and without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. So, yes sir, good morning Mr. Fred. Those of you that know, this is our chicken coop. You can see it's been changed a little bit. We broke down our composter and actually moved our maggot bucket over here. Our aquacultures, they're doing pretty good. I need to flush this system. That's no longer going to be an aquaculture, but we'll get into, well, that one will be, but this one will not. But we'll get to that in just a second. We got some fencing and stuff up. So, excuse me. Essentially, those of you that remember, this is our shed, and all of this used to be open. And we had an aquaculture here and over here, but this is eventually our rabbitry. We're going to do a colony setup, so we're just kind of beginning to set that up. What we have going on is I had some wire that we're working on burying. I got it for free. It was getting thrown away, and so I just kind of laid it out with some bricks, as you can see. And then I took a bunch of garden soil and just dirt, and I just kind of dumped it in piles. The chickens have actually been so gracious to level it out for me. I just dumped it in here with a wheelbarrow, and we'll continue to do that until we have a nice layer. Once we get a layer set up, we're actually going to be taking bricks and stacking them up. Yes sir, stacking them up on the side to help keep the rabbits from wanting to dig out or push on this wire, as you can see. We also have our rabbit hutch over here. We're working on fixing up. We have some wire that we're going to be placing here, so that way the chickens can come out around the back, and they can, if we do have any rabbits in isolation or anything, the chickens can eat the bugs out of the manure, kind of spread it out, help us keep it hygienic. We took the faces off. We're actually going to be putting a new face on to where the whole face is a door. So when we open the door, our feeders and waterers will be present, easy access, and this is a lot easier to get a rabbit from compared to a little bitty door here. So we will be using what we have here. We just got to make some modifications and things like that. We also got to add a little bit of roofing on here because the last rain, it just kind of rained all on here. But I'm going to actually put roofing to where it, it's not the direction I want, but it's essentially the water is going to come off of here, hit this roofing, and then probably come off this way. But we will try to push it out that way. We also, since we broke down our composter, created a worm bin out of this bathtub here that we had lying around. And essentially, we put all the dirt in here. And once we get time, we will actually go ahead and add some red wiggler worms. Well, why do we need worms, you ask? Worms are pretty useful. They're going to help feed the chickens. They're going to help feed the fish as well. I've had them before. It's just our system wasn't as large as I'd like, so that's why we moved to this tub here. You can pretty much see all we did is elevate it on bricks. The drain is open, and we also have drain up there, so if anything happens or it tries to fill with water, this will drain. Pretty much always keeping it at the perfect moisture level, and it's also going to help insulate it and keep it to temperature. Now, we are also been working on our aquaculture. What is the difference between an aquaculture and aquaponics, you ask? Well, an aquaculture is going to allow the fish to live in an area with a large filtering system. This is going to be a sand and gravel filter, and this is going to be a biofilter. This is just going to be some guppies and duckweed to help as alternative feed, and this is also going to house some guppies and duckweed. Oh, there you go. So just sitting like that. That way we can harvest different sides. Nothing too crazy. It's just sitting on top of the IBC there. And that's how we're going to start out. Now, we set this system here, so eventually we can actually increase by about 2 more totes here comfortably. This tote here is actually going to be cut down, and we're probably going to turn them into a sand bed. It's going to help, for our aquaponics. Now in aquaponics, that's generally you have fish in an area and it runs to your plants. It's not going to necessarily have all this biofiltration we have. but the plants help act as a biofiltration. So aquaculture has the ability to be an aquaponic, while an aquaponic is a dedicated fish to plant ratio. This, it doesn't matter. We can put plants on it if we want. If not, we'll just do water changes every few days to a couple weeks, depending on our stocking density. So a stocking density, for those of you that don't know, is actually how many fish, per so many gallons. How many fish would be in this particular setup. Starting out, we're not going to actually have anything outside of maybe some guppies and, like I said, some duckweed, stuff like that, to fill this up. This was an old wood mulch container. It carried the dye for the wood mulch, so we went ahead and washed all that out. You can see the red that's still out there, but it's washed out, so don't worry about that. And we're going to give this system a couple of months to cycle, so those little fish are going to be able to survive. The sand and gravel filter that we're setting up here is going to have time to start building up bacteria, and so will the biofilter over there. So the way this system works, we'll actually be doing a little bit more in depth in another video. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit of a tour on our homestead. We also have some other things I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. So give me 1 second and we'll get to that. So we've managed to mulch everything in, and we actually planted approximately 200 to 300 onions. Predominantly they're going to be 10-15 yellows, the Texas sweets, and then also some of the I think they're like red creoles. Of course, we have like our cabbages and stuff in here. We did a couple different patches. Let's see if we can make it through here. So in here you can kind of see some of them starting to poke out. We have a little bit of a patch in the chili pekin that really needs to be harvested. Our chili pekin's been producing about a cup of red peppers a week or so. It's been keeping me busy. We also have some other patches in here. Try not to step on anything. You can see there. These guys, we're just letting them go to seed. We're just going to chunk them out and try to do volunteer plants. We have some more onions over there. We also put onions around the border to help keep insects and other animals out. You can see we got quite a patch going on here. We have another patch over there, and then we also have a patch going around the greenhouse in that hay area. Got some carrots. This is our tomato plant. It is actually a oh goodness, it's a Homestead tomato plant, and we're going to be taking some cuttings for our greenhouse. So you can see we got some more onions over here, and I did throw a couple over by the gate over here. So far I'm pretty happy. This has actually been heating up, so it's been definitely helping with the season. There we go. And then we have our greenhouse. All of our transplants have begun to transplant. We also got a hold of some dragon fruit cuttings. Pretty excited about that. We actually got to come in here and water today. You can see there's the other ones right there. All of our trees and stuff are doing pretty good. We actually had some volunteer plants come out. This is a tomato. I don't even know where it is from. And we also have some patio tomatoes back there, bok choy and stuff. Everything in here is doing pretty good. For our heat source, we're just using a heat lamp and a fan, keeps it above temperature. And then also we're breeding our duckweed, water lettuce, and guppies in that barrel as our control barrel for all of our other systems. And you guys give me 1 second. We got to go in the house, and I'm going to actually show you our chicken babies. So this is our current setup. We are changing it. This is just an old 20-gallon reptilian tank, and this is the baby, that our first hatchling that we've ever hatched using the incubator that I showed you guys in a past video. We are working on a much better brooder setup, and I do need to come in here and clean this pretty soon. But she's got her water and her feed. She's pretty happy. She's doing pretty good. She is getting a little lonely, but as you can see, the temperature and humidity is doing pretty decent off of just the singular heat lamp kind of hanging out there. She gets a little excited sometimes. But I'll actually go ahead and show you the brooder we've been working on. It may be a little difficult to see, but essentially I took a heat gun and kind of melted some of this wire in. So that way we can put a heat lamp over it safely. and it's predator proof since we do have cats and we'll be keeping them in the house for a little while. This is a lifted device so we can put their water and feeder, and the shavings underneath will catch all the poop and stuff since they do like to poop when they're eating. And they'll also have some play area and something to play on. So this should house, 10, 15 chickens fairly comfortably, at least until they have to go outside. So for the most part, that's pretty much what we got going on. We will do more in-depth videos about the specific projects and stuff we're doing as we go along. I haven't had a second to stop, so I wanted to stop and just show you guys where we've come so far. We are getting to the point where free isn't always an option. We do still do, look for free stuff and good deals. But ultimately, like the aquaculture or aquaponics, whatever you would like to refer to it as, it is going to cost us some cash. But the upside is we've been progressively buying these things over an extended period of time by just buying the largest version. So for example, those of you that remember the video, we bought a 100-watt air pump, and we had all the air lines and sponge filters and things like that. Okay, well that's actually going to get used in our aquaponics system. We needed sponge filters for our fish inside, so we already saved money. So did we spend money? Yeah, but not really. So whenever I do the total on a later video, just make sure y'all keep that in mind, so that way you understand. It's like, okay, if this ends up being a $500 system, not really. It was things that we progressively over the last 2 years have been purchasing, finding really good deals, and for the most part, most of this is already paid for itself to some degree. Like I said, when we got the sponge filters, those things are like $25 a piece, $30 a piece. We needed 4 or 5. We only dropped $80, and we ended up getting, oh goodness, like 16 different types of sponge filters for different amounts, plus the air pump, plus some clay pots that you put in for breeding. So I mean, we got hundreds of dollars worth of stuff for 80 bucks plus some gas. So in the final total, stuff like that, we will be letting you guys know, but just keep that in mind. If you like this stuff, you want me to keep making content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace, be kind out there, and we'll see you.